Hello, Dr. Warner. I'm here to do my video for topic 2 this week. Upon reading the body ritual among the Nersurima from topic 2, but also did some own personal research on this, it's quite interesting. I couldn't help but agree with Miner's ironic portrayal of the American culture. Miner's description of Americans as being obsessed with appearance and constantly living and striving for physical perfection through various rituals and ceremonies hit close to home. In today's society, there's an undeniable pressure to conform to certain beauty standards, whether it be through dieting, cosmetic procedures, or even, purchasing expensive skincare products. The way he described normal daily rituals such as brushing our teeth and visiting, let's say, the holy mouth man, like he said, the dentist, in such a bizarre and exaggerated manner, really made me step back and think about what how we take certain practices for granted without questioning um, their origins or the meanings behind it. His constant pursuit of perfection can sometimes overshadow more meaningful aspects of life, such as personal relationship or even self fulfillment. Miner's discussion of the economic implications of the ritual shed light on the materialistic of American culture here in the United States. The fact that people are willing to spend huge amounts of money on products that promise youthfulness and attractiveness speaks volumes about our priorities here in the United States, or even as a society, right? It made me question whether these material possessions truly bring happiness or fulfillment in the long run. The article presents the culture of the North American Nurserima community. The article reflects how different cultures have different beliefs in some of the practices that they carry out. Um, the American culture of the Nurserima community is all about body cleaning. The main aim of body cleaning in this tribe is to prevent an ailment that they call shrine altering, right? Americans like being neat, but unlike the Nurserima people who fear the fate in some of their medical practices. Human beings all over the world have been interested in acquiring the most strategies of protecting oneself from any form of disease. Americans, we do that, but we think about days how we're going to make a living. And we focus hard on those, you know, those youthfulness, the spending all this money on these materialistic things, but only to get sick because we're not healthy. Um, we get medicine to acquire um, healthiness immediately. We expect to get healthy and not try to take care of it in the short term to the long term, right? All we're thinking about is now. A communication pattern in my own culture, the Chicano culture, um, is what I came up with was our Spanglish. From an outside observer, Spanglish is quite different because Chicano people, we normally use the Spanglish language, um, and it's usually made by, it comes from Hispanic and Latinos. So we get a group of many words to make one word. Um, they write and speak the language in a funny way. We do. We make it try to sound funny. Us Chicanos who speak the Spanglish are usually the first generation um, Latino Americans. I am first generation to the United States, as you know, my father came from Mexico. The language is always um, a second language to us. Um, we know how to hold the root of the fun culture in using these two languages. We're taught Spanish by our parents, and later, when we attended classes of learning, we were taught English. That has us trying to speak words that are a mixture of the two languages, as our brains try to think quickly about where we were at either in school or at home. This has us making words sometimes sound funny, but the meaning of the Spanglish word, but we know the meaning of the Spanglish word. At first, some words sound really funny, quite funny, or we just mix it up and come up with a word, um, but we continue to use them. Um, us Chicano people use these funny words and make it a good show, but not only to us, but to the outside observer. Growing up, my mother was not allowed. So we're talking about the history here. My mom was not allowed to speak Spanish in school. Um, you know, back then, here in the state of New Mexico, the schools weren't big, so you attended school in church. And my mom went to school in church, and you weren't allowed to use Spanish in class. But as the education evolved, so does the written languages and the role in communication. Traditional conventions are giving way to more sophisticated social interactions, leading many Americans to reconsider the ways they interact linguistically, right? Schools nowadays have Spanish classes and classes who help the children learn the English language, but not discouraging the use of their first language, la primera lengua. Some may worry about losing their culture identity by accepting these changes to traditional patterns of speech. Younger generations have increasingly adopted Spanglish as a part of everyday dialogue, despite the pushback from others who feel it overwhelmingly Americanizes Latin culture and history. I know that I've used just regular Spanish words and English words in a sentence. It's still Spanglish to us. Um, so it's quite interesting how we've created our own dialect almost. But despite this ongoing debate around assimilation versus multiculturalism, multiculturalism within society at large, especially regarding Chicanos, there remains pride among these seeking preservation for individuals' heritage identities while simultaneously pushing toward broader acceptance across all demographics regardless of their background or their ethnicity, thereby helping solidify the Spanglish's place both outside but also within mainstream conversation today. Well, this looks like I did go over a minute. Um, I hope it's good. Thank you.